Oh my goodness. Hi. Hey, girl. Welcome. This week is very special. It's a bi-coastal moment for me. It's my first time. This is the real big plus side to doing virtual podcasts, which I swore I would never do, but alas, here we are. This week, I am joined by the fabulous and legendary Lagoona Bloo. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. I am so good. How are you?
I'm doing great. You are far too kind to me. Legendary. You're too sweet to me. Thank you
Well,
so much.
give me $20.
Give you.
Let me fix this light. Hold on. I need the lights to be so bright that I can't actually see anything. But
Oh,
just wait.
I love that. I listen. If I were as well, I would have every ring light in the house available. So I feel you.
I stand. How have you been? How is New York?
Well, it's interesting living in the city where the virus really started in the United States, and to now being one of the safer cities in the United States. So
T.
I feel really blessed, honestly, to be here. I'm originally from Prairieville, Louisiana, and I grew up my entire life in the South, and so. Um, New York is my new home. I've been here for almost 6 years, and I honestly, I can't imagine myself being anywhere else.
I love that.
New York's been okay. The beginning was really crazy. I actually was sick in the beginning. I started showing symptoms, like literally, I started showing symptoms of COVID, like 4 or 5 days before we went into lockdown. So I didn't do drag for like a month and a half in the beginning
Oh my
because
God.
I was so sick, and I honestly needed a break. It had been almost 2 years since I took a vacation, and obviously the pandemic is not a vacation, but
Well, yeah.
it was a much needed time to like rest and recuperate, and yeah, so I'm doing okay. New York's been fine now. We're slowly opening back up, but I think there's been a lot of irresponsibility,
I
in and outside
mean,
of the queer community. So
yeah.
we'll see how things go. How are you doing? How's
I'm
LA?
good. LA's crazy. But I socially distanced things it's not that much different from how I typically socialize anyway. I never
Really?
really was like, yeah, if I'm not getting paid to be in the club, you will not catch me there. Like
Same.
I'm either there working or I'm there trying to get the next gig.
Right.
So
No,
when I
exactly.
go out, it's work.
So are you going out in LA, or are clubs open, like socially?
No.
Oh, okay, work.
I'm
Same.
just sitting in my living room doing numbers with my dog, like just
I love
chilling.
that.
I'm
I love
doing this now. I'm just trying to find ways to do what I always typically do on stage, just like in a virtual context. Because why not?
Exactly. Yeah, totally. I mean, we were talking about this a little earlier before we started recording, but you know, I obviously I hesitate to say that I'm like grateful for quarantine, because that's, I hesitate to say that because obviously what's going on right now with the pandemic and also with the movement, like there's just so much going on in the country that's just so difficult. And but I think, something that my mom told me before she left was there's always something to be thankful for. And that was literally the last lesson that I learned from her. And that's kind of what's gotten me through this pandemic, through this entire quarantine. I remember, in March when I was sick, I was like, okay, we'll be back for June. And then,
Me too.
I know, we all thought it was going to blow over. I mean, that's what the government was telling us. And then to like realize that this is going to be an issue for years is kind of a lot. But because of it, I've been able to use my creative in a way that I never really was able to do before. I was working 5 or 6 nights a week here in New York, and it was, amazing to be a full-time drag queen. But, I was very limited as to, what my creativity could do, because I was at a bar at 10 p.m., a show at 11, and then out by 2, home by 3, asleep by 4, up by noon, and then like that was my day. That was
Yeah.
my weekly. I was always, either in rehearsal for a show or something like that. And so it was really difficult for me to focus on projects that I really wanted to work on. And so today I released a music video, which was really exciting, for a cover.
Yes.
Yeah, I released a cover for So Happy I Could Die by Lady Gaga. It's one of my absolute favorite Lady Gaga songs, and I was finally able to release that today, and I'm so grateful for it because it was my first time working in a or releasing anything that has been professionally recorded, and it's my first music video, and it's just the beginning. I am also working on an EP, which is really exciting, and I have a single coming out in September, which I wrote with my good friend Carson, who's also my producer. So, yeah, I mean, there are things in quarantine that are happening that I would never be able to make happen if I were still working full time. So, it's just fine. It's finding those things to be grateful for, regardless of your situation. So, yeah.
Gratitude's super important. I've been telling people, like, use this time. Now you have the time to do all the shit that you couldn't do before because you didn't have time. So
Exactly.
make the best of it. So that's good. It's
100%.
good to hear.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing that's the most difficult is just like I'm such an extroverted person, and like Lagoona brought so much light to my life, and so many friends and so many connections that I didn't realize were so that I really thrived on. And so not being able to see loved ones has been kind of difficult, but I don't know, yeah, I agree. You just have to find the things that are going to make you happy right now. So.
Yeah. And right now it's just Oreos and Netflix.
Netflix, Netflix, my brand new fleshlight, and
oh my God. Okay, before we started recording, I was preaching I was singing the high praises of my fleshlight to my friend.
Yeah.
I keep it in the shower, girl. Changed my life.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I literally after I recovered from COVID, I literally was like, okay, if I'm gonna be sexless for the next however many months, I was like, I need to invest in myself. So I logged on to, fleshlight.com, and I bought myself a $200 package, bitch. I got a flashlight, I got a mini flashlight, I got a dildo, I got the Brett Morgan special, honey.
And he is great.
It is. I will tell you, it is the best $200 I've spent. I got like the cleaning supply, the drying powder, the fucking like the wipes, the lube, like everything. I got it all. One-stop shop. Click, done. And chef's kiss. It's just made quarantine a breeze.
I love it. After my last breakup, I got one. I said, I am getting a fleshlight. I'm not getting a boyfriend. And now I have a new boyfriend, and we have fleshlights. So I get it all.
Together. We got together like.
The grapefruit of it all.
Yes. Oh my God. It really is. It's like a grapefruit.
So good.
Yeah. The one thing, it's so funny. I've had so many friends be like, oh yeah, I used to have a fleshlight, but then it just got gross. And I'm like, girl, you have to clean it. You can't just load her up.
Do they just like nut in it and then close it and walk away?
Yes, I have friends who do that. And I'm like, girl.
I'm clutching my pearls.
Yeah, it's like it's not 1, 2, 3 lick balls done, honey. It's 1, 2, 3 lick balls done. Washy, washy, washy.
Yeah, that's why I keep it in the shower, because I keep the toy cleaner in there with me. So I stretch it open under the shower head, and I put the toy cleaner in it. That way I don't leave the shower without it being clean. I let it dry.
I love that. Yeah. I haven't used mine in the shower yet. I have not used mine in the shower yet.
Oh, life-changing.
Oh, I can show you the world. Good to know. Good to know. I'll definitely look into that.
Now that we don't, me and my boyfriend have our own place now, as of like a couple months ago. So we just keep the fleshlight in the shower. We don't care. Like nobody comes here.
So. Do you each have one, or you just share one?
We share one right now. We have a clear one, which is really cool. Mine was, I had mine for years, and I finally got rid of it. I had like a black one with like a pink thing. I got rid of her. She was retired. She was just tired. So now we share the other one.
Oh, work. Nice. Yeah, I ordered like a blue one because it's my brand.
Oh yeah.
And they actually sent me like the flesh light version, which is like the I guess I don't know, I guess the straight kind, because there's flesh light for men for straight
Oh
guys
yeah,
and
yeah.
flesh yak for gay guys, whatever.
Yes.
Like one is like vagina and one is like buttholes, whatever. My favorite flavor. Anyway,
It's all
and
the
so
same.
uh, they sent me this like mine is like pearlescent. It's like
Stop.
literally like shiny and iridescent, and I was like, oh, so you knew I was a mermaid. And
Fuck
so you see that.
off.
Yeah. So yeah,
Ugh.
mine isn't. But the little mini one I have is clear. So I love that we're just talking about our sex toys. I mean, do
This
we
is
expect anything less with the drag queens, right?
welcome
Like,
to Hey Girl.
hey
Usually I'm like
girl.
sitting in someone's living room with no air conditioning, like across the sofa, like talking about these sorts of things. I have a
LOL.
hair in my mouth.
That's okay. I couldn't even tell. And honestly, those of us listening can't tell either. So
I can't. Now that I told them, they know. But it's fine. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy to hear that you're taking care of business with the fleshlight.
yes.
I have, with the gyms closed, it's been tricky. Our gyms were open for like a few weeks and they just closed again. So at-home workouts are not the tea. Do you partake in the at-home thing?
You know, I so I've had a really like difficult like journey with my body image and stuff. And when I found drag back in 2017, I kind of went, you know, when let me start over. In high school, I was very overweight. So I was like 300 pounds in high school and super miserable. And I was super in the closet. And then when I came out, I like lost 60 pounds because I finally accepted who I was. And it was like, you know, I was eating a lot of those feelings. And, you know, I was a musical theater major. I wanted to be an actor. And I came to New York and I was like, you know, working. And I was working. I was like, you know, busy all the time and doing shows and things like that. But I wasn't happy. You know, I wasn't happy with the stuff I was getting. And then I found drag. And drag was just like this amazing thing that helped me love myself even more than I've ever had in my life. And I for the first time, like really cared about myself and about my health because I wanted to be able to deliver a show at a caliber that I knew I wasn't physically able to do. So I went through another transformation and I lost like a total of 100 pounds, like not another 100 pounds, but like from 300, I got down to like 190 pounds and I was like super fit and I was like, but it was because of the gym. And so now because of COVID, it's just really hard for me to just get on the floor and do push-ups and squats and jumps and jumping because that's how when you think about it,
It's
all the workouts
stupid.
are going to be crunches, squats, and jump and like and high intensity interval training. So it's all the same. So that has been difficult for me, but I did find this really amazing YouTube channel called Mad Fit, and she does like dance workouts. So they're like 15-minute little dance sections, and you start it and you're like, oh, this is gonna be easy. And bitch, by 5 minutes in, I was like pouring sweat. So I will say that COVID-19 is real in more ways than one. But the Mad Fit is what I've been doing. What about you?
Nice. I started running because I used to do weights. We would do like 2 hours of weights 6 days a week. Like that was the thing.
What?
And it was like great. It's like a mental thing for me.
Totally. Oh, 100%. I get it. I totally get that. Yeah.
So that was also my social time. That was me to get out of the house. Because if I'm doing drag at night, what the fuck am I going to do during the day? I would just go to the gym. So now that that's done, I've been running around my apartment building. I get really bad shin splints. So when that happens, I just like stretch for a few days.
Yeah. You should change your shoes. If you're getting shin splints, it's probably when's the last time you changed your shoes?
Well, I got new shoes when the stores opened up again, and it's been much better. So you're right.
Oh, good. Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah. That's because when I first started working out, I had the worst shin splints ever. And I was like, what's going on? And my trainer was like, did you get new shoes? I was like, no. And then a week later, she was like, did you get new shoes? And I was like, no. And then like the week later, she was like, Lagoona, if you don't get fucking new shoes. And I was like, okay. And they totally went away. So.
Yes. I waited in line for 2 hours at Nordstrom Rack to get the shoes.
2 hours?
Yes, they had just opened. And I was like desperate for shoes because I couldn't get shoes anywhere. So I risked my life. But totally worth it. I do miss that. Sometimes the energy that I would expel at the gym sits with me a little bit, and I have to find other ways to like keep myself
Let it out.
physically. Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
But it's tricky, especially for us cross dressers. The body thing is like, because I got big, like I got super muscular compared to how I was before, and I just got like crazy chunky looking. So then I started to lose a little bit of weight, but I really love lifting weights and I don't want to like look crazy. So like I'm trying to find that like middle ground, which is tough, especially as we get older.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's been a real. I mean, I will say that like even at my smallest, like I'm still a juicy girl. You know what I mean? Like I have curves. And also there's with the territory of losing so much weight in my as a like I did in my case, there's just the issue of like sagging skin, and so I think it's something that's been really difficult, or not even difficult, but something that I've kind of worked through my entire life is like body dysmorphia. And I feel like most drag queens deal with that because I mean, when at first glance, like that's I feel like actors and drag queens in any sort of entertainment, pop stars, like anything, like everyone kind of judges you at face value. You know what I mean? And especially, coming from musical theater and like being in a room where like a ton of like, I hate this term, but Broadway bodies, and with like these ripped
Girl,
guys, these like skinny twinks, surrounding you. Um, it's difficult to deal with, body image. And so I'm very proud of being juicy. I think it's, I think it makes me stand out because I have, I might not be the most confident in my body as a guy, but when, with a corset and pads, like, bitch, my body is sickening. Even when I gained the
yes.
COVID-19, like I've gained almost like 20 pounds in quarantine. And, you know, do some of my costumes not fit? Sure. But am I any less beautiful?
Who
No.
cares?
Exactly. I think that's, I was reading this article, 75% of Americans have gained 16 pounds. So like, this is kind of like everybody and their mama's thick right now. And if you're not, good for you. But if, you know what I'm
If
saying?
you're not, then
So,
I don't know what to tell you. I can't relate.
exactly. So there's, bitch, we could talk for hours and hours just about like, body issues. And I think, it comes with the territory of like being in the queer community because like if I was straight, I would be fucking hot. But in the gay world, I'm obese. So there's such a
It's so
stigma with,
stupid.
yeah, it truly, I mean, like, it's really interesting. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
I've also noticed a difference with the way guys treat me when I'm in drag versus when I'm not.
Oh,
And I know
absolutely.
you know this struggle of like when they worship you, then all of a sudden you're a boy and they don't recognize you. They don't think you're the same person and they treat you so
Absolutely.
shitty.
Can I tell you, like, like I have slept with some really, really, really beautiful men who like love Laguna. And like I've come to realize that the reason that I slept with them or the reason that why they slept with me was because of Laguna. And it's kind of like it's not hard on the ego, it's just kind of a mind fuck. Because
Yeah.
it's like, I get the most attention I get as a guy is when I'm like hairy and I have a beard and I'm serving you like cubby, like bare realness, because I'm a thicker guy.
Yeah.
Or when I'm like serving you fish, because I am very lucky to be able to do both. Some of us cannot, and I can.
Name
So,
names.
names of what?
People who can't deliver both sides of the
Oh,
spectrum.
honey, I listen. If this weren't being recorded, honey, I could list names and names and names and names and
I got a
names.
couple friends too who think that they can't. But you know what? I'm very lucky to like not be so recognizable out of it. So like people
Oh
that
yeah.
I've like been sexually involved with will meet me in drag and not even realize that I'm the same person. So I've had like dual friendships with the same person and I just let it go as long as I can just to see.
Oh yeah. I mean, it is. It's for me. It's like one of two ways. People will either, I mean, on Grinder, people will be like, "Oh my God, Laguna," and I'll be like, "Hi, like, how are you?" And then some people, and it'll either be like the interest goes like through the roof, and then it's kind of difficult because I'm like, "Well, do you like me or do you like Laguna?"
Are you
And then
gonna
there are
try to
some
ask
moments.
about drag?
Exactly. And there are some
Ugh.
moments when I'm like, oh yeah, they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm a drag queen. And they're like, block. You know what I mean? So it's
Oh,
like,
gross.
oh yeah. And there have been so many times when I was like working, out on a Saturday night and a guy will be like literally all over me. And just how you said, I'll come out of drag and they'll be like, oh, and then like either like leave, and it can go both ways. They can either like still really be into it, or some people just be like kind of, you know, ghost me. So
Yeah.
I think the thing, you know, for me is just like to constantly remind myself is it's kind of like, I've been saying this a lot. It kind of comes with the territory. I feel like I've been saying that a lot this conversation.
I mean,
but
it does though, because
it does. It like
things that you don't necessarily know.
Exactly. There are like benefits, not even benefits. They're just things that naturally happen because of the misogyny and because of the, you know, body shaming and because of, you know, all those aspects in our community that kind of come with being a successful and beautiful drag queen. So
we do it to each other. We do it to ourselves.
Yeah. And something too is like, I feel like I'm harder on myself than I am on anyone else. You know, it's kind of like that saying of like, you would never say the things that you say to yourself to someone else. You know what I mean?
True.
So yeah, very, very interesting topic to talk about.
This time has given me so much like opportunity to just sit and think about things like that, and like, why do I feel this way? Why do I act this way? And a lot of it, I think, just comes from like, I grew up in like a really Hispanic household. So
Me too.
Like, what are you? What is your?
Yo soy americana y mexicana. I'm a Mexican American.
Oh, okay, work.
Yeah.
I am Puerto Rican.
Just full on Puerto Rican.
Full on.
Gorgeous.
That's it.
Love that.
I'm from New Jersey. There's all the Puerto Ricans in New Jersey.
Oh, I didn't realize you're from New Jersey.
Yeah, I live in LA now, but I was born in New Jersey.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. Yeah. And you know what's so funny is that like you do look Hispanic, but it's so, I mean, this happens to me all the time. Like I'm so white passing that people have no idea that I'm Hispanic. It even happened to me one time. I literally, I posted a picture once. This was like years ago. It's an old picture. It's still up if you want to go and scroll, babies. I posted that the caption was I had this like really beautiful, I had like a high pony and the curls were like that beachy like
like a natural color?
The natural like kind of curl, but it was blue.
Oh,
and
work.
So
okay.
Caption was like La Sirenita Latina or La Sirena Latina, something like that. And this Hispanic drag queen, I won't say her name, she came for me and she was like, how dare you? She was like, this is appropriative. She was like, how are you kidding? Like, how can you appropriate? And I was like, are you joking? I speak fluent Spanish. I am a Mexican, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like privilege that I have being so white passing that, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement has like, not exposed, but like brought a light onto me. And I've learned a lot about myself and about my privilege and about how I can use my voice as a queer Latin artist with a small following here in New York. So yeah.
Same. I have the same sort of like issues where I'm so white passing that if there's like a Latin themed show, I'll never get considered for that.
Why?
Because it's like people don't know that I'm Hispanic because I don't necessarily do like culturally Puerto Rican numbers. I do like Baby Shark. I do like prank call numbers. Like I do like the most ridiculous, stupid internet memes. So there's no like connotation there. So sometimes if queens know that I'm Hispanic and it becomes like another conversation of like, oh, so I'm not Hispanic enough.
Oh, totally.
Is that not? But what is? I'm no less Hispanic than you are. I still speak the language. I lived in Puerto Rico when I was a kid. So like.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's so interesting how, I face the same thing. There's a feeling of like, not a feeling of shame, but there's sometimes like I question my own content sometimes because I'm like, all right, I don't like, are people going to think that I'm appropriating? Or, you know, are people going to judge me for this? Are people going to think I'm just, you know, I mean, that's the biggest fear. Are people going to think I'm appropriating? And, you know, I've been talking to my voice teacher about this a lot. She's Corey Jennings. I'm gonna shout her out right now. She's the most amazing voice teacher I've ever worked with in my life. She's one of my best friends, one of my chosen family. She's incredible. But she's inspired me to, she was like, no, she was like, you need to be proud of your heritage. And if someone comes, because the thing is like, my heritage should not be anything to be ashamed of. I am very proud to be a Mexican. And just because I don't look it to you, you know, just because like, you know, someone thinks I don't look Hispanic does not take away the fact that I am a proud Mexican, you know, or half Mexican. So I think it's just finding the balance of representing your culture in a way that makes you happy and that makes you proud. So like something for me is like, I love Shakira, like love Shakira so much. She is like, I have been listening to her since I was like probably 6 or 7 years old. And for me, something that really connects me to my roots, though she's Colombian, is to sing Spanish music. So I try to incorporate that into my numbers as much as possible. And I just put together a Sofia Vergara mix, which is very, very, very funny.
Stop.
She's so funny. She's like,
she's such a star.
Yeah. It's so also interesting too to watch, especially after the Black Lives Matter movement. It's so interesting to watch a beautiful, amazing actress of color like Sofia Vergara deal with the microaggressive racism in all of her interviews.
Yeah.
Like, because I was putting this number together and I was like, wow, like even Ellen DeGeneres said some racist ass shit to her.
About the coffee.
The coffee, she literally was like, in my mix, the one that I use, Ellen DeGeneres is like, oh, I've been learning a Spanish word of the day. I'm going to teach you an English word of the day. And Sophia was like, what? I speak English very well. And so like, I mean, and it's funny, but like looking back at it, like that is not something that would fly in these, you know, and I'm glad that these types of microaggressive, you know, and systemic racism that we're facing every day is being put to light and being halted. So yeah, we're growing, you know?
Yeah, I catch myself all the time. Like, why do I always wear straight blonde hair? Is it me because I like the way I look in it? Or is it because I like that other people think I'm pretty because I have blonde hair and I have like fair features?
Do you really only wear straight blonde hair?
For the most part. But now that I think about that, I just bought myself this human hair, like unprocessed, like my natural hair color and texture, because I have really dark, like really curly hair.
Oh, work.
So I just sewed an extra bundle in her.
Good.
So, but that is a really great upside to what's been going on, is I find myself looking more, okay, why do I do the kind of music that I do? So it can be good. It can be a growth for all of us.
Totally. That's so interesting that you have, I guess I don't realize that I mean, obviously my signature hair color is blue because my name is Lagoona Bloo. But when I look at my collection, like the only color that I see, I mean, this whole side is blue, but like I have red, I have brown, the only hair color that I don't really have is black. But oh, no, never mind. I have one right there. I'm looking at it. So that's so interesting. I never thought of that way, and like presenting, you know, or wondering why, you know, you lean towards a certain color. And I see how that could, you know, you can think
it's like
of that.
Putting the contacts in your hair and in your eyes. I know a lot of queens who put like blue eye contacts in.
Yeah. Oh,
and
totally.
I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why not? Just use your eyes.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, I don't really. I wear contacts to see, so I can't really wear colored contacts unless they are prescription, and my prescription is sold, so I need new ones.
See?
I also have a piece of glitter on my face. What else is new?
Same.
but yeah, yeah, that's so interesting, and to think about. I mean, when you break down any sort of entertainment, when you actually think about it and think about, you know, even like if you look at like music videos from 10 years ago, it's interesting to see how, you know, artists of color they're not necessarily whitewashing themselves, but they're obviously being whitewashed by you know, by their team. Does that make sense?
It's like the whole natural hair movement.
Yes.
How they're told to straighten and relax and like,
absolutely.
Girl.
I mean, like, even if you look at some of Beyonce's iconic, you know, videos when she first started, and Destiny's Child, and like all these are really amazing, powerful, you know, Black artists being told, I don't know, it's so interesting. That's why I love like Chloe and Halle.
Yes.
Have you listened to them at all?
Yes.
Oh my
Oh my
God, you guys,
God.
everyone listening right now, I'm telling you right now, Ungodly Hour by Chloe and Halle is some of the most amazing music that I have listened to in 2020. And the way they present themselves is just fucking impeccable. There's just like Black excellence. And I am so thrilled to see them thriving. And and also Halle Bailey,
Oh yes.
she's gonna be Ariel
She's
in
Ariel.
The
I
Little Mermaid,
stan.
which is just so amazing. I'm so excited. Have you seen that video that's gone viral of the little Asian girl who's watching Hamilton, and she goes, "Mama, that's me."
No. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
there's
I
this
would
really
die.
amazing video, and that's how I feel about like that's how I feel. So many beautiful Black little girls are gonna. Oh, I'm gonna get emotional. Are gonna see Halle be Ariel,
Yes.
you know,
And she looks like Ariel. She's
and
got
so all
the
these.
face.
Yeah, literally, she's got. I mean, like so many kids of color are gonna see, and I hope this is like, I hope this is just not. I hope this has to be the future. You know, like
Yeah.
more representation in film, in television. It is absolutely necessary, and to have, I think it's gonna be so amazing to have all these, you know, to for Black little girls to see a Black Ariel like that. That is so powerful and so amazing, and yeah.
It's like I still fantasize about seeing a romantic comedy about two guys where the punchline isn't that they're gay, where they're
Yeah,
just two people falling in love and they
yeah,
happen to be gay and it's not overly sexualized.
yeah.
It's just a normal rom-com with two
Yeah.
guys.
Isn't that wild? I mean,
One day.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Hopefully, yeah. That's the direction, and I think that we're going in. One can only hope.
I
You
think
know, especially.
so.
Yeah, I
I think
agree.
once our generation is sitting in the seats of power, things will
Absolutely.
change.
I also think Gen Z is like they fucking doing it, man. I
Yeah,
love
they're
like
on top of shit.
they are amazing. Like I love that generation. They care more about the planet and about each other than their own livelihood, you
Yeah.
know. And I just think it's so wild how truly different you know, between generation to generation, how different our ideals are. And I truly think that we are headed in the right direction. And it's like, and I this might be morbid, but like I'm ready for the past to die off so
Oh,
that we can.
girl.
It's just like, you know, not I mean, obviously, like not I don't want to say that I don't want to get into politics, because obviously drag is political. And you know, as you and I both know, like as having a following and having, you know, uh being a light in the queer community, it's kind of our duty to be politically involved and to have a voice and to raise our voice and to, you know, let our following know that they should be inciting change. So
I avoided this at all. Like when I first started drag, I was like, I'm gonna be the escape. I'm gonna be funny. People are gonna be stressed. They're gonna come to see my show after work and they're gonna have a great time. But now more than ever, I'm just like, hold on. Like this is for me to just stand there and just not like address things. It's so tone deaf.
yeah, it's exactly. I think, you know, I'm right there with you. I think, you know, drag queens in general, we love to entertain. We love to I mean, that's something that I love to do. I love to uplift people and make them smile and I agree with that sentiment of like, you had a shitty day at work, had a shitty day at home, whatever, but you come to my show, you're with me with an hour and a half, we have a few cocktails, we have a good time. Yes, that is, you know, true. But with the movement and the exposure of the racism in our country, it is literally our duty as voices in the queer community and in nightlife in general to raise our voice. So I totally agree. Like it's been, I've learned so much and I've educated myself so much. And the thing that I have learned the most is that uh what's really important now is to listen and
Yes.
to I want to choose my words wisely. It's to listen and to also like recognize if you've made a mistake, if you've made a mistake, recognize it, change it, and move forward. Like one of my favorite things now is, oh, I thank you for explaining your point of view. I understand now. Oh, I changed my mind. Like that is and I think that's what so many white people in general are so afraid to be wrong, or when or when they sense a bit of racism in themselves, they immediately get defensive. When the thing is like, you should accept the fact that all white people are racists, and we've all like dealt with, internalized microaggressive racism that you might not have been aware of, but you still did it. So you have to address it, change it, and move forward. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that.
It's unreasonable of us to ask of somebody to undo generations and centuries of conditioning. But the
Right.
least you could do is listen and check yourself in those moments. I catch myself all the time. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, ooh, bitch. That's not cute. Don't think things like that.
Oh yeah, and a lot of it is internal. Like there are
Yeah.
things. I mean, a lot of arguments, because I'm from the South, and I've been this whole experience has been me like having a trying to have a conversation with someone on Facebook, them not listening, them not being open, and me unfollowing, and me not blocking, but me deleting, because it's like there are some people who are like, I'm not going to delete you. I want to hear your views. But like, if you're not going to listen at all, if you're not going to educate yourself, despite having a ton of, friends and people telling you that you're not, and listen, I get it's hard to accept the fact that you're wrong, but it's like, it is vital. It is vital that people make change in their lives and in the way that they treat people, and in the way, I think and recognizing their privilege. And that is something that I'm working really, really hard to do. And it's been a huge focus for me.
Same. I don't even like, I don't get into the fights and the things on the Facebook, because I'm just like, I got too much going on. Like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna come on here being crazy, we can have a conversation privately if you'd like, but we're not gonna like get into it in the comment section of someone else's
The
post.
only,
I'll just
I
delete
mean, I agree. There have been a few times where I've stated my case, and I've been like, okay, well, I see what, I'm like, okay, I just want to let you know that what you're saying right now is privileged. And if you would, and what I do is I try to be kind. I think the thing too is that like Trump is doing such a good job at dividing our country. And I think there's such a divide, with right and left. And I think it's so easy to hate the other side. And I think if conversations are led with kindness and a little bit of understanding, they're way more successful. So when I speak to someone who has different views than me, I try to be like, okay, I respect your view. Okay, I don't agree with your view, but it's the fact. I mean, the fact is that like people have the right to have opinions. But if it doesn't agree with if I know that that's morally incorrect, or if I know that's racist, or if I know that's privileged, I'm going to call it out. And I'm going to be like, I hate to tell you this, but you're wrong. And this is why you're wrong. I love you. I hope you change it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's tricky with that specific generation because they are so set in their ways and they don't
Oh,
adapt to
100%.
change like we do. So the conversation itself is just to get it started, it's so difficult. I've had
Yes.
like, my parents are very conservative people, but they're very like liberal socially. So they're
Mhm.
very accepting of all people. But they are Republican. So
Right.
sometimes I have to say, hey, look, maybe the news that you're seeing in Georgia where you live isn't exactly what's all happening. Here's what's actually going on here.
Totally. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't have a great relationship with my dad, but we had a conversation back right when right when the movement started, and he called me and he was like, how are you doing? He was like, I hear things are getting crazy in New York, but is it true? Like, what's going on? And I basically like broke down everything that's been going on. He had no idea about the severity. He had no idea about George Floyd. He had no idea. I mean, granted, my dad is very, not on this planet, but he had no idea about George Floyd. He had no idea about Ahmaud Arbery. He had no idea about Breonna Taylor. And I was just like, and he was his mind was blown when I told him all about it, and I told him about the protests, and I told him how I was getting involved in protesting, and he didn't even know I was sick with COVID. Like, he didn't even know how things were bad up here, and I basically implored him to I mean, my dad as a white man has so much privilege and power, and he kind of doesn't recognize it because we grew up kind of poor. So I think a lot of white people think that like being privileged or they don't see that their own white privilege because they've had maybe a hard life financially or things like that.
Yeah.
And I explained to him about how it's about literally the color of our skin, the advantages that we have because of being white. And he promised me that he would vote for Biden, or he would vote Democratic. So, which was such a breakthrough for me, because I was like, for the first time in my life, my dad listened, and my dad was like, "Wow, David, I had no idea. Yeah, of course. Like, I'm going to vote against Trump." And that was like such an amazing thing for me, because, those conversations are so difficult, and of course the ones on Facebook in a comment are so easy to like overlook, but the ones that are most important, the ones that are your family, those conversations, and like I love that your parents are so, accepting and things like that. And like, yeah, I've totally had that similar experience when I thought it was going to be the opposite.
Yeah, it's tough. I was never a politically inclined person, because I just felt like it was old white people fighting for no reason. And if I'll just watch The Real Housewives, it's way more better editing.
Yeah,
I mean, but now it's like, you have to. We've been complacent for way too long.
Yes, absolutely. It's a lot to unpack.
It
It's
is.
a lot. It is a lot, but it's important, and it's vital.
Yeah. The uncomfortable conversations are the most important ones, and it's not the time to be worried about like, oh, it's awkward. No, bitch.
No, it's time. Yeah, now is the time to have them more than ever.
You know what now is also a really great time for? A break.
A little break. Perfect. Okay, perfect. I love that.
I did a segue.
Oh, I love a segue.
Usually my segues are like, speaking of corn dogs, how's my makeup? Like, that's my segue.
Well, I was going to be like, speaking of politics, what's your favorite track on Chromatica? But then I was like, I don't want to be.
On my outline that I prepared for this production outline, I do have a section devoted to pop stars and Chromatica. We're going to talk about theater. We're going to talk about fun stuff after this.
Okay, work. Good. Okay, so we got the important issues. Now it's time we'll take a little breaky poo and then talk about the fun stuff.
So all you little chicken heads, don't go anywhere. You don't have anywhere to be.
Mm-mm.
And we'll be right back. Mm-hmm. Don't press any buttons. Oh, hey girl, it's me, Jordan Jayro, the host of Hey Girl with Jordan Jayro. And you're watching an official commercial break for this podcast. And what does that mean? Well, probably nothing at all. But as you know, this podcast is currently not sponsored by anyone in particular, so I just do the commercials myself. But there are still several other ways that you can support the program: by subscribing on iTunes, leaving a cute little review, and giving me 5 stars, by following me everywhere so you know when new episodes are out, and sharing them with your friends, because literally that's free. Anyways, that's all. Let's get back to the show. Come on. Oh my God, we're back.
We're back.
This hair is so heavy.
Is it?
Yes. This one, it's a fabulous Fridays from Wigs by Vanity.
Oh, work.
So this was like,
Wigs by Vanity. It's gorgeous.
Girl, incredible. She's like one of my favorite people on Instagram, and the hair that she does is unclockable.
I really need to get some of her units. I mean, for me, it's the lace.
Yes.
The lace is like just, I mean, that wig is growing out your head, girl.
It's like the lace is such good quality, and there's a permatease at the crown of all the wigs. So it's already got volume in it, and it's 250 density. So this is just like bobby pin together. I don't know how she did this, but it's just bobby pins, and there's no teasing.
Well, if I would go in with some... Well, I don't know if you see me, but my wig designers hate me because I put on a wig and then when I perform, I shake.
Oh, see, I don't do all that.
Oh, babe, one of my favorite things to do. Honestly, like I hate doing shows in hair that I can't move in. Like, so like I pick and choose the nights that I wear like certain hair and outfits, like, because like if I wear like a more formal dress with like an updo, like I know that night I'm not going to be tossing my hair out. Yeah. But like if I'm in like a sexy leotard with thigh highs and like fucking hair down to my ass, like it's about I'm about to fucking...
Oh, girl. And now that I've discovered the human hair revolution, bitch, okay, people shit on human hair, but there's something about the way that I walk differently in human hair.
Listen, I can walk just fine in a synthetic wig, okay?
Girl, I just burped.
Like, I get it. It's okay. I burp endlessly. My friends literally, sometimes I'll burp so much and people will be like, "Are you burping?" And I'm like,
Yes.
"Mm."
Yes, I
um,
am.
but yeah, no, I not that. Listen, to each his own. Like, I agree. Like synthetic hair, not synthetic, human hair. It has. You're right. The quality of movement is fantastic. The way it photographs, the way it just the way. I mean, I think the main difference is the way it moves. That's the thing about it that's really impeccable. But the thing is that like because I am so violent with my hair because I shake it around because I move it. To me, it's just like I don't feel. I destroy hair, so it's like I unless it's like for a specific look or for like or for like if I was like walking down the runway on Drag Race, like and something and I was wearing something that called for like gorgeous long human hair, like yeah, you're right, I would do it, but I think for my career, I'm gonna stick to I'm gonna stick to synthetic wigs.
I love a synthetic. They're way easier to maintain and to style
Yeah,
than human hair for sure.
exactly, exactly. And I'm no hairstylist, so like I can fix a wig if someone styles me a wig, I can keep it up. But like I can't really style a wig. I can stack and tease a bang, and like stack it for
Oh
like.
yeah.
But like I'm not a fantastic hairstylist, so yeah, I prefer hair that I can like fuck up and then put back together, then fuck up again. You know what I'm saying?
I love hers because they come in with the attachments, so I can take the attachment
Yeah,
out. I can put it in a pony. It's great. This is the only wig I own that I didn't style, but I don't wear crazy hair. I just like a base tease and go. Like this
yeah.
is like the
I
craziest thing.
love having all kinds of hair. I like updos. I like short
Ugh.
little things. I have this I have my aerial hair. I mean I do love a big tease with a big fall. Like that's obviously super flattering on me because I'm a man. But
What?
you didn't know?
Exclusive.
But yeah. Yeah, I love hair.
Me too.
I love
I grew
hair.
up around hair. My mom's a hairdresser, so like hair is my favorite part of getting ready.
Oh
Ugh,
really?
yeah.
My favorite part of getting ready. Hmm.
What is it that makes you officially feel the fantasy? Is it the lashes or like the hair?
I guess like when I don't have my hair on, it is the lashes because like the face I don't see the face until my lashes are on. However, my beat has gotten so it's not elevated, but like it's changed so much, and I also can do it is so much quicker. I think the quickest face I've ever put on is 34 minutes.
Yes.
I did an entire like I was really proud of myself. I was like work lashes everything done like everything finished 40 minutes and when it comes to the face, the lashes definitely like make the face. But then yeah, there is something about for me, there's something about hair and body together. Because when I first started doing drag like digitally, I was totally like in a giant sweatshirt in my basketball shorts, sitting at my desk, like doing anything. But then like recently, for my own self, I've been putting on my corset. I've been putting on my whole body. I even wear my high heels in the beginning of my
Oh.
show. I know. I'm like feel the thrill of the numbness in my toes. Woo!
Ugh,
Um,
yes.
but yeah, I guess for me, it's like the moment is when you're like when you put
Oh yes.
nails on and you have your heels. I mean everything. Like my favorite moment is when you're in the fantasy like head to toe. And
It's
I think
for
it's
me. It's like the perfume and the last like.
oh, that's a great one
Bitch.
too.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, what's your drag perfume? Like what's your
Okay. Right now, I'm wearing the Moschino, the teddy bear one,
okay work?
and I
Love.
spray the hair. Do you spray your hair so when you move
Bitch,
it like?
bitch. My favorite fragrance is oh god, I'm such a faggot. Is Circus Fantasy by Britney Spears.
Okay,
And
but her fragrances are phenomenal.
lit. I
They're
have all
so
of them.
good.
I literally have all of them. I am listen, we can talk about Britney Spears forever. I know you said you wanted to talk about pop stars,
We
but
will talk about it.
love Britney Spears. And but my go-to, I literally have 2 bottles of it, is Circus Fantasy. And I love it because it's like it's strong. It's like it has this like very citrusy, almost it's like I like it because I can wear it in and out of drag, and it's like
Yeah.
it's sweet and feminine, and floral, but it also has like a bright citrus like musk to it that is just chef's kiss. And I put it everywhere. I literally, when I put it on, I go.
Yep. And I do it between numbers. I don't give a shit because it needs to
Like
last.
everywhere.
Yep.
And the color, because like nothing is fucking worse than a smelly ass drag queen. Like nothing is.
And so many are so bad.
It stinks. Nobody likes to wash their drag. Listen, I get it. Sequins are hard to wash. Put them in the wash. You know what's hilarious? Oh my god. Well, wait. What was I talking about? Perfume.
I don't know.
So I think it's super important to have. My ADD is crazy. Super important to have a signature fragrance.
Yeah.
I will never forget. This is a story. I don't think I do tell this story sometimes. But when Stephanie's Child was, I mean, this is when we first started in drag. I was like, this is like, I'm telling you, like month 4 or 5 in drag, like not a very long time. And you know how like you kind of are immune to your own smells. You know what I mean? And so like I didn't not wash my tights. But, let's just say I probably wore them a little too often. And and I think we've all been guilty of that at some point. And I'll fess up to it. But we were getting dressed for a concert or for some event. And I was putting on my tights. And I look up and Jan has a bottle of Febreze in my face. Jan's bored. And she goes, and Jan goes, Lagoona, use this. And I was like, what? What is that? Like, because I was getting dressed. She was like, Lagoona, use this. You know what? Take it, Lagoona.
Keep it. Here's a like, case.
And I was like, and so I was mortified. And I like sprayed it. And I was, and she told me like she was, and that's a real sis, someone who would be like, listen, girl, you tights. So
here you go.
And from then, I have never had an issue. Literally,
I hand wash them now.
I mean, it's just like, and also, when you have only 3 pairs of tights when you first starting drag, it's a lot more difficult. But now that I have literally 40 pairs of tights, it's really, really easy for me to just be fucking clean. So yeah,
I do my little Orphan Annie thing, and I sit and I hand wash them.
I just put them in the wash. Delicate cycle. Just throw them in the wash.
I do that sometimes.
Well, listen, bitch, I ain't got time. I'm from New York.
I'm busy, like, there are times when it's like, okay, you have like 3 shows in a row, like 3 nights, and you're like, how am I gonna wash them between? It's just, it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's been a huge issue. I mean that's why we're moving out of this apartment, because we don't have a washer in unit.
Oh no.
So if ever I'm washing anything, I have to go to a laundromat, which is fine. It's like there's a laundromat like 2-3 blocks away, but like that is something that's really difficult for me. Is that like instead of just throwing my tights in the wash and then putting them in the dryer and go to bed, like I have to wake up an hour early to go make sure my shit is washed before I go to the gig. I mean, granted, that hasn't been an issue now because I'm doing drag in my room once every 2 weeks, but yeah.
It's crazy. I wash wigs a lot too. I wash my lace between every single wear, and I think everybody should.
Oh, absolutely. Your lace should be impeccable. There's no reason why you shouldn't clean your lace. Now, as far as washing hair, let's change the topic.
Well, if you have like big teased styled hair, you can't really wash it because then you have to restyle it. But exactly. like flat, like synthetic ones, like I just washed a tinsel wig the other day in the kitchen sink and I just like hung it out to dry, and the next morning I wore it. It was great.
Yeah, it worked. Oh, if only I could wear a flat wig. Anyway, yeah.
I think you should just go for it. Just do like a center part.
No, I have such a wide face. I have like
It's hard when you're a man.
Well, yes, I'm a man, but 2, like my face is not only like wide, but it's kind of like shaped like a trapezoid. Is that what that is? Not a trapezoid. Almost like maybe a rhombus. It's
Pentagon.
It's kind of diamond shaped in the way that like my jaw is like larger than up here. So if I wear flat wig, it just looks like this, but it's just not flattering. It just makes part of me look really wide. So I've only done it a few times, but when I do it, I have to stack them. I have to have like two flat wigs.
Oh yeah, that's the best. Just like 2 wigs, but no teasing, just like all that hair, just everywhere.
Literally. Speaking of 2 wigs, I know that you said you wanted to talk about pop stars, and I know.
Oh yes.
that a lot of these pop stars are now wearing 2 wigs. Who are some, like, what are some music standouts that have been coming out for you? I want to know. Or
Okay.
like, what have you been listening to? Like, what's been on repeat on your Spotify?
I mean, Dula Peep was cute.
Dua Lipa is cute.
It was a nice amuse bouche for Chromatica. I am a Gaga stan. Like I see her every time she comes to town. I've seen her in Vegas, like queen. So Chromatica's been on repeat.
Yeah, I mean, same. I actually just listened. I mean, I listened to Future Nostalgia all the way through, like when it first came out, and like really didn't think anything of it because I was, yeah, I don't even know why it didn't like strike a chord with me. But I actually listened to it the other day, like literally last week, for the first time again, all the way through. Because also, I mean, obviously I have like standouts. There's like Break My Heart and Don't Start Now and Hallucinate are like, I mean, Hallucinate is on my summer playlist. I listen to it almost every day. But as far as the whole album, I wasn't listening to it, and I listened to it and I was like, wait a minute, this bitch is it. And
it's good.
fucking Chromatica, yo. Chromatica is just,
It gave me everything I wanted and needed.
you know, it was just perfect.
So good.
Start to finish, wonderful. It's like,
it was like what Born This Way did for me, but like
right.
now. Like
Well,
Born
I
This
mean,
Way will always be Born This Way.
I just think we haven't had a pop album like that in a while, because like obviously like Ariana Grande like dominated 2017, 2018, 2019, I feel like with 2018 into 2019 with Sweetener and Thank You Next, and it's pop music, but it's more R&B pop, and like this Lady Gaga, this album is a return to like dance pumping, like just dance pop, I think. And because Gaga like fucking did Joanne before this, which is fine. Like I again listened to it once, and I was like, okay, cool. And there are a few tracks that really stand out to me, but like I wasn't a huge fan of the album. Bitch, I listen to it every day. I think since it's come out, I listen to it every single day.
I go from Chromatica 1 to Alice. Then usually I'll skip to Chromatica 2 to 911, then to Enigma, then to Replay, then to Babylon. Then I'll go through listen to the whole thing. It's like a routine.
Work. Yeah, which is great, because I was gonna ask you, what are your favorite tracks?
Alice is incredible.
Work.
Like the hook, the melody of it, the way that she built it.
Yeah.
Yes. Simple pop elegance. It doesn't need to be crazy. It can be 4 chords. Perfect.
I mean, yeah, I love it. Yeah.
There's not that many lyrics. It just is. And it is.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah.
So
yeah, totally. I think of the album as an acts. Like Act 1 is Chromatica 1 up to Free Woman. And then Act 2 is Chromatica 2 up to what's the last one before? I think
Sour Candy. No.
No, it's not Sour Candy. It's
let me look this shit up.
Let me look it up. Now I want to say it right.
Hold, please. Oh, it's okay. It's Fun Tonight, then Chromatica 2 to Replay.
Yeah, exactly. So it's Chromatica 1 to Fun Tonight's Act 1. Act 2 is Chromatica 2 to Replay. Oh,
Replay.
And then Act 3 is Chromatica 3 to Babylon. So my favorite act, I would say, is Chromatica 2 to Chromatica 3. That middle act is like, Chromatica 2 into 911 is literally like pop genius. It is just
so good.
Impeccable. And then Plastic Doll, Sour Candy, Enigma, I think is my favorite track on the album.
Enigma is great. Like vocally, okay. I know you know, like if I speak nerdy vocal talk to you, you're gonna understand.
Oh yeah.
The way that she's able to like place the note in the chorus of Enigma, that high note that she does.
Oh, yeah,
yes. No.
No.
Anything you want.
Yeah,
and still have the texture and tone, but not die. Yeah. Phenomenal. That's like crazy.
I think that's something that Gaga does really well. I think that she, in the studio, knows where her money notes are. And then when she performs it live, she takes it down half a step so that she can really hit those. She's like, so she's not flat. She's like right on those notes. I mean, it's really, I mean, she's great. I just think it's such an impeccable album. And, you know, some people really don't like it. And I was just like, okay, do you not like pop music? Because that's what it is. It's
Well,
like, it's
those
pop.
people are poor, so.
Yeah. Oh, well.
There's two kinds of people. You either like Chromatica or you're poor.
Or, yeah, or you're living in poverty. Oh yeah, I really love it. I also another artist that I don't know if you've heard of her, but her name is let me make sure it's right. But she released an album called uh called What's Your Pleasure. Her name is Jessie Ware. Have you heard of her?
No. Hold
She
on.
is, I encourage you to look her up. Her
Okay.
name is Jessie Ware, and she released an album for the gays. The album is called What's Your Pleasure?
Okay.
And it is a like disco, it's like a modern disco. It literally sounds like you're listening. There are moments where I'm like, is this Diana Ross? And I'm like, oh no. She's like, it's very disco-y. It's modern disco is what it is. It's really awesome.
Oh, yay. I'm going to add this.
And then the other one that has just been in my head a lot, and I mentioned this earlier, was Chloe and Halle's Ungodly
good.
Power. It is just like amazing R&B. Amazing, amazing pop R&B.
Did you grow up with like the Spice Girls?
You know, I didn't. I was never a Spice girl. I never was. To be honest, I was a Britney. Britney had my heart. Britney, like, without a doubt.
I stand.
God, she's going through so much, but like,
there's so much bullshit, and I'm just like, I don't know if she'll ever be the same.
I don't know. You know, God, sorry, I'm like, literally at a loss of words. It's kind of, it's heartbreaking to see.
Yeah.
Because there are some videos on her page. Like, I love the dancing videos because she's just like literally expressing herself. She looks alone. She looks lonely.
She just doesn't look well, like mentally. It's very sad.
And well, I'm not here to judge whether or not someone's like someone's state of mind is you know, in what, you know, if it's that good in a good place or in a bad place. But I think there's a video where she answers 3 questions. She was like, and she's like so unfocused, and she is very jittery, and she just the way that she speaks and the way that she answers seems very like she like yeah, like there is a, so
there's
I understand
something going on.
Yeah, there's something, there's an imbalance somewhere, and the truth of the matter is that she's never had a normal life ever. So I don't think she knows what normal is. Like, everywhere she goes, people are taking photos of her entire life.
Oh,
everywhere,
yeah.
everywhere. She's never had an inch of privacy ever. She doesn't know what that is. So, you know, I think this pull back into, like, you know, not doing interviews, not being seen out in public, and then with all the speculation with the conservatorship and everything that's been going on, it's really kind of heartbreaking to see. Because, like, have you seen Britney for the Record?
Yes, I've seen it like so many times.
Yeah, I mean,
so
she
good.
is. I mean, if anything that was happening then is happening now, and to me, it looks like what's been happening then has been happening to her for the last 10 years, and just like constant surveillance over her, and being medicated and over-medicated. I think she's over-medicated. And I think it's led to a spiral of, you know, I think they want it. I mean, a part of me thinks that they want to keep her there so that they can keep the conservatorship, because I don't know.
The tea is that she was on medication, allegedly, and she no longer wanted to be on the medication because it was like fucking with her. And they threatened her with the kids, and then they threatened her with her show. And so when they canceled the show because she refused to take her medication, she totally lost it. And then they blamed it on the dad being sick when he was not actually sick, allegedly.
No, I saw that. Yeah.
It all makes sense. It checks out, but I mean,
yeah, it's just like she's never, and also something else that's like not really talked about is that she, after In the Zone, before Blackout, she wanted to release an album called The Original Doll that she worked on and created outside of her team. And she created this sound. I mean, Mona Lisa was on there. Chaotic was on there.
Oh, yeah.
And one song that is not really talked about is a song called Rebellion.
Yes.
And I feel like at that moment was going through a phase of being like, I don't want to be this pop princess. I want to be an artist. And she literally even went to a radio station without their permission in flip-flops, showed up, said, play my demo. This is my new single. And then when her team found out, they totally erased it from media. They took the album away from her. I mean, some of the producers this is like, I don't know if this is related or not, but one of the producers who worked with her has died mysteriously. Like,
Hmm.
they totally took her project and said no. And
That's crazy.
This was in the middle of a public divorce. Her custody was with her kids were about to be taken away, and also she was fucking with Sam Lefty, who is probably I think one of the worst influences on her life. And I think that's kind of been the consensus.
Yeah.
And that's why she fucking went crazy. Like, I mean, that's why she had a breakdown. It's because everyone was like ripping things away from her. The public, her team, like she wasn't allowed to even fucking make the music that she wanted to make. Like, of course you're going to have a spiral out. Of course, and also like that whole situation of Britney being locked up in her bathroom before the breakdown, apparently like her team called the cops on her, but they were saying, stay in the bathroom, we'll keep you safe. But then on the other side, they were the ones who like called the police on her, and they were the ones who put her literally, like,
wow.
It's really fucking wild. It's really, and of course a lot of it is speculation, but like Britney's not even allowed to hire a lawyer for herself.
She can't even use the phone without permission.
She can't use the phone. She can't go shopping. She can't get married. She can't have kids. She can't create music. She gets a stipend of $1,500 a week, and she's, I think, worth over $250 million. And like, she has no control over that. She plays with an iPhone 6. Like, it's really wild.
You've heard the song Overprotected, right?
Of course.
Which came out like years ago, but totally foreshadowed. Yeah. And when I first heard that song, I was like, does nobody else see like what's going on here?
I mean, when I first fucking listened to that, I was in the 5th grade. I'll never forget, because that album came out when I was in the 5th grade. And I totally felt that, because in the 5th grade is when I noticed that I was like, why do I like boys? Why do I like boys? And I grew up in a Christian home, and we went to church 3 times a week. I had to play that CD in secret. Like, I didn't get a CD player, like a personal CD player, until like the 6th grade. So if I wanted to listen to music, I had to like listen to it in the stereo in the upstairs family room, like by myself, like quietly, like sitting by the speaker,
leaning against,
literally, just so I could listen to it. And so I remember Overprotected, and I remember being so, when I finally memorized, I don't need nobody telling me just what I wanna, what I wanna do about my destiny. I literally,
the bodysuit.
I related to that so hard, because I was like this little fat faggot in Louisiana, being like fucking dancing like crazy. I love it. In my room by myself. So like, I mean, but yeah, I mean, when you think of Lucky, when you think of Overprotected, when you think of, I mean, there are plenty of.
Have you heard, Why Should I Be Sad?
Yeah.
That song too, like totally.
Yeah, absolutely. Crazy. I mean, why should I be sad? Heaven knows. Oh, and she has Let Me Be. Let me be.
Oh yeah.
That you know me now, but you don't. And also Piece of Me. Like, she has tons of, I mean, she has made statements obviously to the media through her music, but I don't feel like she's been giving total freedom ever. She's never had freedom ever.
No.
And that's what's
so sad.
Very, very heartbreaking.
That's what I worry about with like artists like Gaga. But now I think like she's so like in her own lane, that she would never have that.
Well, I think it's also because like Britney's like, all of that spiraling was like it all happened like right before like social media became a thing.
Yeah, Britney was the example.
Yeah, and no one was talking about mental health. No one cared about any effect that this had on her. And now, and also like, there was no way for her to reach her fan base on a wide basis to like talk to them. Like there was no way she could be like, I mean, now, you know, if someone like Ariana is a great example. Like if like when someone makes a statement about her, she can repost it and be like, no, this isn't true.
Yeah.
Or fuck you, this is not, or like, okay, like, I mean, and Britney never had that. Britney never had an opportunity to defend herself ever, other than in planned interviews.
Yeah, where she's obviously just saying what they tell her to say.
Well, not even, well, I mean,
It's just, she just looks like,
I mean, in the
I'm so happy.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the beginning of it, like right after the Justin breakup, and before she met Kevin, there was that kind of really situation. It's like right after she released Toxic. It was like right after In the Zone, and like she was feeling all, and Diane Sawyer was like coming for her. I mean, that interview with Diane Sawyer is kind of hard to watch.
Oh yeah,
Diane is a bitch.
Where she cries.
Yeah, because and literally is like the way she brings up Justin, and she literally is like, can we stop? Like I don't mean to cry, and then she starts crying. I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's really.
It was for the clout.
The media totally. It's really heartbreaking to watch. But listen, we love Britney. We love her. Like I love her so much, and I you know, the selfish part of me really would love to have like one more album.
Oh gosh.
But I think,
yeah.
I think she's got some battles and demons that she has to deal with, and that I think, you know, the Free Britney. I mean, listen, Free Britney isn't happening for no reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if things weren't weird, there would be no problem. But because of everything that's been going on, like of course, yeah, there's speculation. So
I would live the rest of my life without a single Britney concert or album if she could just have what she wants.
Exactly.
As a fan, I would give that up.
I 100% agree with that. Like that's why, I mean, I said selfishly, you know, part of me wants that more music, but as a fan, I really want her to be happy.
Yeah.
And there are really amazing moments, like when Mood Ring went #1.
Oh yeah, that was like out of the blue.
Yeah, and when Glory went #1, like that made her day. She was like so happy, and I think, you know, that I hope she knows that her fans love her, but at the same time, like, so many people have so many still negative things to say about her, and I guess that comes with the territory of being a celebrity. But
yeah, especially like the first like huge pop star.
Exactly, like she is like the pop star of the thousands, without a doubt.
She's like patient zero for our generation of like celebrities.
Yep.
Because Madonna didn't have to deal with the internet like crazy. And I mean, she did crazy shit.
Gaga did as well, but I think she had a much different handle of it.
Gaga got to see Britney first and preemptively say, okay.
I feel like all these pop stars, every pop star now has had her as an example.
Yeah.
Of not like I mean, not of what to do and what not to do, but you know, just she literally led the way, and it's really heartbreaking to see what she's going through. So
yeah, it's like the Michael Jackson effect, where you build them up long enough to just tear them right back down.
Well, yeah,
he had a lot to do with his whole thing anyway, but
yeah,
it's very sad.
It is hard to see that.
But you know, I have become an Ariana stan recently.
Oh, me too, bitch.
That live album really did it. That was what made me love her.
Oh, that album? Girl, yes. I will never forget when I was doing my makeup for a drag brunch the morning after Sweetener was released, because Sweetener was released at like midnight that night, and I went to bed and I was like, oh, I'll listen to it in the morning because I have to get ready. And I will never forget when I heard her. When raindrops fell, I literally was like, what? And then there is something between us, and I was like, what is this album? And the more I listened to that album, probably like, this is when my makeup was taking me like 2 hours, so I listened to it like probably 3 times in that 2 hour span, and I was hooked. That
so
was
good.
God Is a Woman. Are you kidding me?
I've gone back and listened to all her older stuff, and I'm just like, this is fierce.
Really amazing. It's
so good.
amazing. Oh yeah, and because of Sweetener, And then of course Thank You Next happened, and I was it was wild. But like Sweetener and Thank You Next were the albums that I like fell in love with her. And I've never been to a concert before last year, and she was my first concert ever in my life.
I would die.
Yeah, I was 20.
So good.
I was 28 was my first concert, and I was.
Did you cry? I cried the first time I went to a
cried.
concert.
She started with God Is a Woman, and she did the number that she did at the was it the AMAs, Grammy Awards, Billboard Awards? She performed at some award thing.
Was it where all the dancers are wearing like mauve and nude, and they were just laying out?
Yeah, and she was like in gold, and it was like there, and she had like a black woman being the Jesus character, and she was like on the side.
Yes, it was like a Last Supper moment.
So amazing. And I watched her do it live, and I was like fully gagged. I was and also my ex got us great seats. God, what a sweet guy. He was so amazing.
Oh no.
Oh, that's not for me to talk on live, honey. But yeah, I will forever. If she ever comes to New York, like every time she's in New York, I will spend the money to see her live.
Yeah.
She sounds even better live than she does on the recording. It's truly like just amazing to listen to be. And that's the thing too, like it's really wild to watch, to see the person whose music that you love. I mean, it was really like a mind-blowing experience for me, because I'd never been so close to like someone that I listen to literally every single day. So it was interesting. And I mean, it changed my life. Like I spent like $60 on merch. It was so good. It was so good.
My first concert was the Born This Way ball for Lady Gaga.
Oh, really?
Bitch, I was 18. I put on my leather.
Work!
And I went over to the Staples Center. And first of all, that stage show that she had built was insane. It was literally a castle that had rooms, and it would open and turn and spin, and the walls would crumble out, and she'd be in the light behind the wall, like in a latex gown, just like it changed everything. It like totally excited me about theater and music and art.
Oh, I love that. And that's the thing too. I mean, like, especially now that I'm delving into songwriting, it's really interesting to like listen to listen to the queens that inspire me, or like the artists, like the pop stars that inspire me. And if ever I like am hard on my song, or find, because I'm writing a song right now, and I'm in the middle of writing like 6 songs right now, but it's whenever I feel discouraged, I'll like literally put on like an old album that I haven't listened to in a long time, and then I'll be like, okay, yeah, great, and I'll just like get these surges of ideas and inspirations. It's like that. I guess until I really saw her live, it didn't dawn on me how much that like she's inspired my music. And when you think about it, like I sing during my shows and my digital shows and everything, I sing mostly Ariana Grande music. I sing so much Ariana Grande.
Oh, the video of you singing Needy has been on repeat in my household and in the car.
Oh my God,
bitch,
thank you.
Okay. I saw it when you posted it, and I watched it, and I was like, Jose, I turned to my boyfriend, I was like, give me the aux cord. And so ever since then, he's been an Areola stan.
Areola?
I've always loved that song, but it wasn't until the live album where I actually got to hear, because I love live vocals.
Yeah. Yes.
And I could hear like her breath and like how great she was, like technically. Not that I had any doubts, but it was nice.
Understand. You know who blew me away with their vocals is Kim Petras.
Oh, yes.
I saw Kim Petras I saw her like 2 weeks after I saw Ariana, and I had always been a fan of Kim. It's like from Heart to Break on, like I've always been a fan of Kim Petras. Like I thought she was really great, but I thought she was super auto-tuned, which I don't mind. I love auto-tune.
Yeah.
I it's in some of my music as well. Like I love it, but she has that and there's some songs where she has like a vocoder on her voice. So I didn't really go in expecting an incredible vocal performance, and I was wrong.
Her belt.
She has got a great voice. And she sounds like Ariana. She sounds better than the recording.
Yeah, that song reminds me of you.
Yeah.
Bitch, the way and even like in all of her music, the way she does that thing that became a trend in Broadway a few years ago where you sing as high as you can without going into your head voice. And it was
Yeah.
all about like the mix and your belt.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
just is able to do that so well, and it's so
These
smooth.
weird business days like that is
Girl.
Malibu is a great example of that. Did you watch the Jimmy Kimmel live concert series that she did?
No.
She performed Malibu live on Jimmy Kimmel, and which is
Okay.
amazing because she's like, that is the beginning of a mainstream, her touch into mainstream. Like she only has 500,000 followers. Like that's wild.
Crazy.
Like, not as big as she should be, and I hope that she's going in a more mainstream direction because like she's amazing, and the option up that she does at the end is wild and impeccable. It's like so good. So
after
great.
the bridge.
Yes.
Where though your kisses taste and it goes all bitch. Yes.
Like she was so good. So
my friend was like, "Oh my god, the key change at the end." I was like, "No, baby, she just did a different interval. It was fab, but incredible." And that song is literally 2 chords.
Yeah,
it's 2 chords, and it's the same verse and same chorus repeated, and then a bridge, then the chorus. Done.
Yeah.
Compress it, master it, sell it.
Yeah, literally, totally. Crazy.
I'm
so inspired.
I love like with Gaga, especially the way her songwriting is, how she starts at the piano and what she said about every great song can be played at a piano and still sound like a hit. Mm-hmm. Bitch, I think about that every day.
Oh, that's so
brilliant.
Yeah, I love that.
Because if you think about it, the root of the chords, we're getting into music theory and I'm not even mad about it.
No, you're fine.
You play, obviously everything's mostly in C major. So you play your major chord, your first, third, and fifth. But with that, because you're a singer, you can play that chord and come up with your melody from that. Mm-hmm. So she's able to take 4 chords and repeat them over and over again and create all these beautiful melodies. And because there's no bells and whistles yet, she can fine tune it to make it beautiful. And then you add the production and then you have Grammys.
Hey.
Do you play an instrument?
I play my voice.
I play the skin flute.
You really?
No.
Oh, skin flute.
The skin flute is a dick.
I literally was like, skin flute. I was like, woo! I was like,
no, is that Italian?
Oh,
no, I play the piano.
Oh,
so
wow. That's
when
amazing.
I listen to Gaga, I'm like, that's another great thing about digital drag is I did a brunch the other day and I was able to like play the piano before my mix.
Oh, wow.
And sing live and then go into the lip sync, which was so fierce.
That's great. That's so cool. Yeah, I love that.
So fun. But the piano is like fundamentally the greatest. Whoever invented it is a genius.
Yeah, I wish I knew who it was, but they are.
I like to send them a nude photograph as repayment.
Just one. Though.
They'll send it back like, no, thank you.
Yeah, get like a telegraph.
Oh, yes. I cannot. Okay, so let's talk about the future. Time travel. Kevin, do you believe in space time travel?
Oh, do I?
Oh gosh. Remember when Brittany and Kevin did Chaotic and he filmed that video of her asking about time travel and she was eating her green beans?
Girl, I don't remember. I don't remember that.
A mess.
I didn't really watch Chaotic as much as I guess I should go back and do some research, but no, I haven't. Space travel, honestly, at the rate at which our country is going, teleport me to Mars.
Someone take me to 2022.
Literally, I mean, yeah. I mean, listen. I bet you there's a ton of stuff we don't know about. I bet you there's all sorts of technology that is just probably unsafe or that we just don't know yet. So yeah, I think so. Why not? To the moon. Right?
Oh my gosh.
To the moon.
I did this thing where when the queens would do a song from Drag Race, I wrote a verse and I would put it out myself.
Oh, work. That's so smart.
And for some reason, after Queens Everywhere, RuPaul has not been releasing the instrumentals to his music. So I have all these verses done for like everything, but I cannot find instrumentals.
Which one's that one?
It's the one with Vanjie and Silky.
Oh yeah, I didn't like that one.
I didn't either, and I was there's so many great ones.
My favorite one, the season 12 one, was amazing.
Oh yes, I'm That Bitch.
Yeah.
That was good. I liked I'm in Love was great. I had the best verse about
It's a
John
great
Krasinski.
song. It's a great song, and my friend Leland helped write it, or maybe wrote it, and I love it. I would love it on a pop star. I would love that on a pop star.
Yes. Super Queen was great. People didn't like it, but I thought it was fun.
Super Queen. That one?
Yeah, that melody is so fun. But people
Who
didn't
is in
love
that
it. That was Monet. Monet had the best verse.
one? Oh yeah, she by far had
And it just went down from
Monet is
there.
impeccable. Monet is amazing.
I am such a fan.
Mm-hmm.
I just like want to sit and talk to her for like ever.
And you could. She's so nice. She's so fucking nice. She's been. I met her, and like I mean, I'm not close with Monet, but we're definitely acquaintances, and like, we're friendly. But I remember guesting for her like it was like right when I started doing drag, and right after she got back from season 10. And was it season 10? Yeah, season 10. And she was so kind and had the best advice and believed in me and thought I was so talented. And we've messaged a little bit, and she's just been so encouraging. And
Yes.
and like the way that she gives back to her community is really amazing. And she's so fucking talented. That bitch could fucking stand on stage, not move, and you're just the way she moves her mouth, I mean, the something that's amazing about Monet is like when she's lip syncing, she's talking to somebody. You know what I mean? She's seeing what she's lip syncing, and it's really just amazing. And I think her success is so she's so worthy of her success.
And the face.
I mean, fucking
the makeup.
Just in.
It's perfect every time.
Yeah, every single time. I mean, just gorgeous. And also her fashion recently has just been like, just like unparalleled. Like just excellent. Just
so
from
good.
top to bottom. So amazing.
T. She should have won. I'm glad she co-won, but like, I don't know what that was about. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm not trying to be that bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to discredit anyone's winning,
They both got the money.
Yeah, they both got the money. They both won. But did I think that Monet slayed Trinity in that lip sync? For me, yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, when Manila left, we were just like, oh, okay, now what?
I mean, I thought it was going to be Monet. I was just like, oh, it's going to be Monet, like work. And so when that happened, I was like, okay, work. I mean, work. They both, I mean, I see how, I mean, Trinity did so well as well. Trinity was impeccable. I mean, I've been saying impeccable a lot. What have I been saying a lot today? It comes with the territory. No, I mean, she did a great job. She won the Snatch Game. She was in the top a lot. She just so many things were just great. So
everybody's a winner at that point.
I congratulate. I think they both are very deserving of the.
Yeah.
But you know how I'm gonna go for Monet.
Yeah, I wish I had an LA queen to root for.
What does that say about you, sis? No, just kidding.
I don't know. It's LA has a weird reputation with Drag Race because a lot of the old school legendary girls have already been on, but like there's really not that many of us who get selected. But we'll see. So, okay, let's talk about 10 years from now. Okay. Where do you see yourself?
10 years from now, I am working on my third album with Stephanie's Child, and we're on tour.
Fierce.
That's the 10-year goal. 10 years. How? Oh God, I'll be 39 in 10 years. That's a lot.
Oh my gosh, I'll be 18. That's crazy.
Yeah. Hopefully by the time I'm 40, I'll already have a facelift. I'll have lost 30, 40 pounds. I'll have a beautiful husband, an incredible house, and I'll be touring. That's what I want.
That sounds great. I'm down for all that.
Right? And I feel like I'm setting myself up for that.
Same.
Yeah.
I want to travel, and I don't want to be like busting my ass in nightclubs when I'm 40. I want a house.
I want to still go to some nightclubs. Like, I want to go party and I want to host some nights, but I just want to get paid a lot of money to do it. You know what I'm saying?
That part.
listen. I do believe that nightlife is going to have a big halt for a little bit. I would not be surprised if it was literally a few years. I mean, I could see it not being a thing for up to May. I'm setting myself up to like be prepared to not step in a bar for like 3 years. Like that is like after 3 years, I'll be like, okay, what's going on? But like we're facing such a the pandemic is so bad. So
that's scary.
Yeah, it is scary. But all we have to do is be resilient and wear your fucking mask. And
wear
Black
your
Lives
mask.
Matter.
Wash your fucking hands. Wash your booty hole. Lift and scrub that dick. Like, don't play games.
Don't do it.
This has been fun. I appreciate you for doing this.
Of
and
course,
for being
thank
here.
you for having me.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, we've been talking for so long now.
I know. Where can the people find you on the internet machine?
Oh, well, you can find me all over the internet. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram, and Grubhub under the name Lagoona Bloo NYC. That's LAGOONABLOO NYC. Lagoona Bloo. Imagine you're speaking whale. You can also find me on Grindr under the name Please.
I'll be right next to her as the name Thank You.
My boyfriend will be right next to you saying next.
My boyfriend would be like, where's Jordan? Help. It'll be a flyer.
Literally. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me.
Yes.
It's been so much fun, and hopefully our paths will cross soon. I know it might be a while.
Well, I was planning a trip to New York to come do podcasts and gigs and do the thing. But like
yeah.
So we'll see.
Rona got you, gals.
New York is where I go to vacation to get away from LA. So I love it. And
I just never want to go to LA. So just kidding.
I don't blame you. No, it's fab. It's fun sometimes.
No, yeah, I can't. Hopefully I'll visit sometime soon as well.
Yeah. Well, until next time, have a wonderful, fabulous life. Oh my God, I haven't been doing my outro for the podcast.
Oh, well, do your outro, bitch.
Oh my God, you guys. I do deeply apologize for my actions. You can follow the program at HeyGirlPod on Instagram. You can email me tasteful nude photographs to heygirlpod@gmail.com. It goes right to my phone. I will review them. We get nude picture submissions sometimes, and we like to talk about them on the air. But it's harder virtually because I have to not. But that's all. I am Jordan Jayro everywhere. It's JORDANJAYRO. It rhymes with J-Lo. Don't call me Jayro. I'll burn your house down. Don't do it.
Okay, work.
People have. And we don't know where they are now, so.
They're wrong for that.
So fucked. Anyways, that's all. Thank you guys for listening and for watching if you are watching. And until next time, have a fabulous life. Bye.
Bye.